Okay, so how many of you have heard name of Ruskin Bond? Have you ever read any of his stories? Ruskin Bond, you know, have you ever
Yes,
heard
ma'am.
his name?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, which
Yes,
story
ma'am.
do you remember? Can you share
Yes, ma'am.
any of the stories which you have read? Ruskin Bond, I think
Granny
very
and the tree
famous writer.
Granny
climbing.
tree climbing.
Okay, again, last year I think it was in your syllabus. No? Any other story? Have you ever read his
Yes, ma'am.
short stories collection? Hmm? No. My dear children, nowadays you are getting enough opportunity, and there is a lot of shorter stories on internet also. So please take out some time, read his stories. They are very funny. Actually, they are humorous, very simple, written very simply. Some stories are very interesting, and many stories are based on animals, the pet he used to keep. So this story which we are going to read now, it is also about is one of his naughtiest and mischievous pet, monkey, Adventure of Toto. So I will simply give you a brief idea of Ruskin Bond, and thereafter we will be discussing the entire story. Okay, I'm sharing screen with you now. Okay. Now please raise your hands. My voice is audible. Okay. Good, good, good. Screen visible? No, listen a little bit about
Okay.
Ruskin Bond. Okay, okay. Thank you, children. Now mute yourself and listen carefully, whatever I'm going to explain you. First of all, this story, this experience is actually shared by great writer Ruskin Bond. He is still alive. He lives in Missouri. So if you ever get an opportunity to move to Missouri, please go and meet him because he usually meet. I was simply looking for that where now he lives and what is he doing. Then I found that every Saturday he is coming to Mall Road, Missouri, and there you can have a chit chat with him. He will also sign a book of him to you. He will present it to you if you are reaching there, and you can get a wonderful opportunity to talk, to have a conversation with a great writer like Ruskin Bond. Okay, so whenever you get an opportunity after this pandemic will get over, please take out some time and go there. Ruskin Bond, as we all know, he is an Indian author of British descent. That's why, because he lives with his adopted family, and now, as I told you, he is in Missouri. And if you talk about his life and career, he was born to Edith Clark. Basically, that's why I told you, na, he was having that British accent and all things. His father taught English to him, and Ruskin's sister also. Thereafter, he was sent to boarding school in Missouri. Thereafter, he came to Delhi. So, in this manner, he got lot of opportunity to meet people and to write stories. He wrote his first story when he was only 16 years old. So your age, basically, not your age, but now also you can write stories. And this is the best and also write stories because when you are sitting quietly reading books, as I told you that if you ever get an opportunity, please, my dear children, read something. If you get an opportunity, then read something because this is the best time, although we have a lot of negativity, but still I will tell you that this is the best time when you are getting a lot of time because there is no extracurricular activities as such. You are not allowed to go out to play. So write down something first of, but before that I want you to read some good books, some good literature. Okay, and if you are writing, someone is ma'am, is this chapter relates with monkey trouble? Yeah. Let's see why I will. When you will go through this story, then you will find some funny incidents. Hmm. So first of all, read some good books. If you will try to find out on Google also, you will get some short stories of Ruskin Bond. And most of the stories are written for children because Ruskin Bond is actually very famous for his book for children. Okay, so you will enjoy his stories. I know you are a little grown up, but still you will enjoy his stories. Now, coming to this story, The Adventure of Toto. Toto, what a funny name. obviously this is name of a monkey. Okay, this is a humorous as well as you can say a naughty monkey named Toto. Yes, he's a. So this is entire story is revolving around our Toto. Toto, who is actually a small baby monkey, and that is why Ruskin Bond, he is writing his experiences. His grandfather brought the monkey to their place. Actually, he purchased it from a Tonga driver, Tonga, and then the pranks played by Toto have been narrated in this story in an interesting way. So you will enjoy this story. As I told you, the supplementary reader, you are going to thoroughly enjoy all the stories. So this story is actually a very sweet, simple story. Yeah, it's very simple. बहुत simple है और आराम से समझ जाओगे. Related to monkey, his mischief, and you know he was actually creating a lot of trouble. बहुत परेशान करता था. Monkeys are not for known for their mischievous activities, so that you are going to see in this story. Okay, now the very first question is here. Have you ever had a baby monkey as a pet, or that no one is having a baby monkey as a pet? Okay, maybe you have a pet, but we are very fond of dogs, maybe cat, or maybe some bird, but we don't want to keep a baby monkey. Specifically, Patna mein, when we are living in small apartments, it is very difficult to tame a baby monkey. हाँ कोई बड़ा सा घर हो, लॉन हो, ये आपके पास छोटा सा मतलब जो भी, तब you can at least think of it. Anyway, here Toto is a baby monkey, so now this is very clear that we are going to read about Toto, adventures of Toto. Rather, you can also say mischievous activities of Toto, badmashi, shaitaniya of Toto. But so basically, he's a baby monkey. So let's see whether he is mischievous or docile. Mischievous or docile. Docile माने समझते हो? Very soft, very simple, मतलब शांत. So, or mischievous means naughty. So that you have to find it out that what kind of monkey he was, and that is up to you, because when you will go through there जो है बार बार disconnect हो रहा है, तो tension नहीं लेना. Within seconds I will reconnect it. Patience रखोगे, don't, and no one will leave my class. 40 थे, 40 ही रहोगे, 38 अभी, but okay. So if you have genuinely any network problem, then it's okay, but don't leave class, because we are actually going to enjoy this story. मजा आने वाला है. Okay. So what happened that when this monkey was brought by his grandfather, what kind of problems he created in the family, that is presented. अब ये mischief है कि actually it's going to create panic, or it is actually create trouble to the family. That's up to you. So let's read the story. Chalo. Grandfather bought Toto from a Tonga driver for the sum of 5 rupees. Now you might be wondering, 5 rupees only, but it's very old story, my dear children. 5 rupees ठीक था, अच्छा amount था, and especially for Toto, a monkey like Toto. So grandfather decided to bought. He was very fond of different type of animals. He had a small zoo at his place. So he decided to purchase, खरीदा उन्होंने एक टोंगा ड्राइवर से, and only 5 rupees. The Tonga driver used to keep the little red monkey tied to a feeding trough, and the monkey looked so out of the place there that grandfather decided he would add the little fellow to his private zoo. As I told you, they have a very nice place, a bungalow type ka, and they have enough space to make or to keep a private zoo for themselves. So basically, when our writer's grandfather, he decided to purchase a monkey, Toto, he has to pay only 5 rupees. Basically, the Tonga driver had tied the little red colored monkey, his face red colored, to a feeding trough. Feeding trough समझते हो? Large container for feeding animals. You would have seen गाय और ये सब को खिलाने के लिए. If you stables में जाओगे, if you ever get an opportunity to move to stable, there you will see, है ना? बहुत बड़ा सा एक बर्तन सा होता है, container, that is known as trough. So he has actually tied the monkey near a feeding trough so that he could not run away, because as you know he was quite इतना शैतान था कि हर वक्त whenever he was getting an opportunity he was trying to run away from that place. So that is why Tonga driver has to tie him, उसको बांध के रखना पड़ा. And that is why when grandfather saw the monkey, he had a desire to add him to his collection of animals where he was, which he had in his private zoo at his bungalow, at his place. So chalo, kharid liya, very good, nice. Toto was a pretty monkey. Now you all will wonder what is so pretty about monkey. But yeah, animals too are very pretty. अगर अभी आज के डेट में मैं यही कहूंगी, whenever you not only read books but watch some good programs, so National Geographic Channel, and so you know, so many other programs are there which will enhance your knowledge also, entertain you also, and obviously quite informative. I love to watch those programs. So जब भी मौका मिले जरूर देखो. Animal Kingdom, so many so other programs are there on the TV. Okay, children, raise your hands whether I am audible, voice, सब चीज ठीक है ना, स्क्रीन विजिबल. कोई रेज करो हैंड, क्योंकि बीच बीच में जब भी देखो ड्रिप कर रहा है, थोड़ा इंटरनेट इश्यूज है. प्लीज रेज योर हैंड चिल्ड्रन. No one is raising his hand. Participants, children, am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, ma'am.
I asked you to raise your hand.
Yes,
It's
ma'am.
simple. Okay, fine, thank you. I think some issues are here with me as well. Okay, so Toto was a pretty monkey. Now, what is so pretty about a monkey? But they too are pretty. His bright eyes sparkled with mischief. छोटे बच्चों को देखा? Have you seen the small babies? 2 साल 3 साल के बच्चों को, whenever they will create any mischievous activities, कोई भी शैतानी करेंगे तो you will see that spark in their eyes. Sparkle, चमक हो जाती है कि I have done something. Because they know that at that age they are not going to be scolded badly. उस एज में तो बहुत मम्मी पापा डांटेंगे नहीं. छोटे से बच्चे, आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट 1 2 3 years old. अभी आप लोग बदमाशी करोगे then you will get a nice scolding, my dear children. But I am talking about स्मॉल चिल्ड्रन. इफ यू हैव द यंगर सिबलिंग्स या कोई कजिन वगैरह हो, देखना छोटा सा जो बच्चा होता है 1 से 2 3 सालों का, दे विल एक्चुअली कुछ भी शैतानी कर लेंगे, चमक आंखों में, या दे विल हाइड समथिंग. दे आर वेरी फॉन्ड ऑफ डूइंग ऑल दीज थिंग्स. So the same kind of mischief can be seen in his eyes. Beneath deep set eyebrows and his teeth, which were a pearly white, no Colgate, कोई close-up की मुस्कान नहीं है, but still his teeth are pearly white. कोई brushing भी नहीं जरूरी है. Were very often displayed in a smile that frightened the life out of elderly Anglo-Indian ladies. Okay. So basically he is saying that Toto was, description दे रहा है Toto का. He had a bright shiny eyes which was full of mischief, शैतानी से भरा हुआ. कहाँ पे? The eyebrows were deeply set on his face and his teeth were like pearls. Pearls की तरह, मोतियों की तरह चमकते हुए दांत, बिना टूथपेस्ट के, बिना टूथब्रश के. वाओ. एंड जनरली एंग्लो इंडियन कम्युनिटी, दे उस वहां पे मसूरी में वो लोग बहुत रहते हैं. So Anglo-Indian ladies are actually very much scared of these monkeys. So whenever he was smiling, ladies belonging to Anglo-Indian community got scared because they were actually scared of his teeth which were displayed when he smiled. So that was enough to scare the ladies. But his hands looked dried up as though they had been pickled in the sun for many years. एक चीज उसका था, his hands were not very nice. His hands were very dry, wrinkled, एकदम wrinkling हो गए थे, and as if it had been dried in sun like pickled vegetables. जैसे pickle बनाते हैं ना हम लोग, सुखाते हैं तो सिकुड़ जाता है, just like that. His hands were like that. Yet, फिर भी कह रहा है, yet his fingers were quick and wicked. Quick है, मतलब very quickly he can do anything. And his tail. Let's not forget about his tail. While adding to his good looks, Okay, good looks. Grandfather believed the tail would add to anyone's good look. Anyone's बोले तो in human का नहीं, because if we will, अगर हमारे पास tail रह जाता, thank God कि हम लोग बहुत सालों में change होते रहे and then we don't have a tail. लेकिन क्या पता अगर we would have a tail, then that would have been a very interesting part of our body. Imagine करो हम लोग टेल को भी डेकोरेट कर लेते नो डिफरेंट एसेसरीज से. ओके, एज वी आर डेकोरेटिंग, सो उसका भी कुछ आइडिया निकल जाता कि नो, लेट्स डेकोरेट लॉट ऑफ एसेसरीज would have been available in the market. So anyway, so his tail, the obviously grandfather always had a feeling that the tail added to his good looks of any animal, specifically this Toto also, and also served as a third hand. Now this is a good thing, that that tail was like a third hand for him. कभी कभी होता है ना, when you are actually busy with some work, तो लगता है ना एक और हाथ होता, तो उस वक्त शायद tail would have been an important part of our body anyway, but we don't have it and it looks so funny. Imagination से भी fun आ रहा होगा. No, if you will, you might be imagining, तो कितना हंसी आ रही होगी कि no, 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 it should not be there on our body. We are very beautiful, we are very handsome. Okay. So, but for Toto, it was actually, you can say, a very interesting organ. Not only it was making him beautiful, handsome, but also it was helping him to serve as a third hand. Okay, so this was, and he could use it to hang from a branch, and it was capable of scooping up any delicacies that might be out of reach of his hands, because tail is very long. So you can simply say that he used to lift objects which were beyond his hands. It also helped him to hang from, Bagisha, don't do this. So it helped him hang from branch of a tree. So that's why it was an interesting part, interesting organ of his body, which was not only adding to his good looks, but also helping him to hang from branch, and also he used to lift objects which is beyond his reach. So interestingly, finally he was brought to his place. Now, grandfather उसे ले तो आए, but now how other family members will react? That is a question. Grandmother always first when grandfather brought home some new bird or animal. Now, grandmother she did not like, although she used to love later on everyone. सही बात है, but she was actually worried. So many, it's very difficult to take proper care of so many animals. So she was very fussy. Whenever grandfather was bringing any bird, any animal, she was always little, annoyed. So it was decided that Toto's presence should be kept a secret from her until she was in a particularly good mood. Now, grandmother was always against whenever grandfather was bringing new pets, birds, animals, anything. So this time, grandfather thought that they would conceal this fact from her until she was in a good mood. होता है ना कि कुछ आप बदमाशी करते हो या मान लो कोई परमिशन लेना होता है, तो what you see, you are actually waiting कि पापा का मूड ठीक हो, मम्मी का मूड ठीक हो, तब मैं ये बताऊंगा. So grandfather also decided that yes, when he will see that, whenever he will see that grandmother is in a good mood, then he will actually tell her the secret that he has also brought a monkey, a pet monkey for them. Grandfather and I put him away in a little closet opening into my bedroom wall, where he was tied securely, or so we thought, to a peg fastened into a ball. Peg समझते हो? Hook. Hook नहीं होता है, wall में एक hook होता है, उसमें उसे करके बांध दिया गया. Now, so they decided that before grandmother will find out, or she will come to know that a new pet has come to their private zoo, our narrator and his grandfather, they secured Toto in a little closet. Closet, समझते हो ना, cupboard in the writer's room. And in order to make sure that this mischievous monkey Toto will not escape, they tied him to a hook in the wall. Fastened कर दिया, बांध दिया hook into the wall. So that he will not leave that place. So this security, this secured thing they did. They thought that okay, Toto will be okay. A few hours later, लेकिन देखो the very first thing he started, शुरू हो गई उसकी शैतानी, पहले से उसने शुरू कर दिया, क्या किया? A few hours later, when grandfather and I came back to release Toto, we found that the walls, which had been covered with some ornamental paper, जो wallpaper होता है ना, decorative wallpaper, उसकी बात हो रही है, ornamental, chosen by grandfather, now stood out as naked brick and plaster. The peg in the wall had been wrenched from its socket, okay, and my school blazer, which had been hanging there, was in shreds. समझ लो क्या क्या पहला, the very first, नहीं कहते हैं, he showed his action. पहले ही दिन, the very first moment, instead of being thankful to grandfather, that okay, you brought me here, thank you, I was living a very bad life with that occasion, कोई थैंक यू नहीं कि सर आप मुझे ले आए, थैंक यू, यू आर गिविंग मी दिस opportunity to stay at your private zoo, obviously he will be fed nicely, nothing. क्या किया? The very first thing उसने क्या किया? See, just imagine that when a few hours later, when our grandfather and this Ruskin Bond, they went to Toto, the sight was shocking. Shocking था. क्या shocking था? Toto had torn the decorative wallpaper. सबसे पहले उसने वही किया, decorative wallpaper. The entire place was looking naked. बहुत very bad, very ugly. The entire place was looking very ugly. Writing in English, Ayush Goyal, I really liked your comment. लेकिन इंग्लिश में लिखो तो ज्यादा अच्छा होगा. Screen not visible. अब तो visible है, I think. So the very first thing they found that Toto had torn the decorative wallpaper. Not only that, he had broken the hook and had escaped from his binding. And before doing that, वो wrench कर दिया, socket को पूरी तरह से बर्बाद कर दिया. And before wrench माने broke, okay, he broke from his socket that peg, जो peg था, hook था. And not only that, his school blazer, our writer's school blazer was in shreds, pieces में. Shreds means cut into thin pieces, छोटे छोटे टुकड़ों में कर दिया, मतलब there was no room, कोई रफू भी करके काम नहीं चल सकता था, समझ रहे हो? So he tore the narrator's blazer into pieces. I wondered what grandmother would say. Now everyone was scared. What he will say, grandmother तो देखेंगी तो definitely she will be annoyed, extremely annoyed. कौन नहीं होगा? He actually पूरे room को उसने एकदम change कर दिया. So obviously lady was very much, definitely she will be annoyed. Okay, but grandfather didn't worry. Why? He seemed pleased with Toto's performance. So they all were scared what grandmother will say, how she will react, how much angry she will be. But grandfather didn't worry. Okay. उन्हें लगा, wow, it's a nice performance. चलो बढ़िया है, nice performance. He is clever. And what was his comment? You know, he is clever, said grandfather. Given time, I'm sure he could have tied the torn pieces of your blazer into a rope and made his escape from the window. Rather, he is actually appreciating his effort. Grandfather was so much delighted to see Toto's adventure. He was delighted, इसीलिए ना, the adventure of Toto. He was so much delighted to see Toto's adventure that he felt that Toto is very clever. Oh, very clever. Rather, he added that if they would have given him more time, he thin pieces of छोटे छोटे जो उसने टुकड़े बना दिए थे ब्लेजर के. So grandfather is feeling that he would have tied thin pieces of that blazer and he would have made it as a rope and would have escaped out of the window. So instead of scolding him, punishing him, हालांकि आप एनिमल को क्या पनिश करोगे, but still they understand everything, they are very sensible. अगर आपके घर में पेट होगा तो आप जानोगे कि पेट will actually he will know about your mood. They are scared also that their master or mistress will be angry. If they can feel love, they can feel anger also, annoyance also. But no, he didn't do that. Na koi anger, rather he was very happy to see his adventure. His presence in the house is still a secret. Yeah, grandmother didn't know about it. Grandmother was not knowing that the decorative wallpaper has been torn, that narrator's blazer has been torn. Nothing. Toto was now transferred to a big cage in the servants' quarters where a number of grandfather's pets lived very sociably together. A tortoise, a pair of rabbits, a tame squirrel, and for a while, my pet goat. Okay, so now grandfather, he didn't say anything. What did he do? क्या किया उन्होंने? He was shifted to servant quarter. There was a big cage, बहुत बड़ा सा cage था. Okay, and you know, number of grandfather pets, they were living very in a very socially, basically कह सकते हो जैसे हम लोग समाज में सोसाइटी में रहते हैं, where we did not harm anyone, we live with a coordination, एक coordination से रहते हैं. So simply he is saying that so many other animals like tortoise, imagine karo, a pair of rabbits, squirrel also, and even a goat. So they were living very, peaceful life. बड़े आराम से सब रह रहे थे. And what grandfather did? He shifted this mischievous, this naughty, okay, monkey to that cage. But the monkey wouldn't allow any of his companions to sleep at night. But as they have expected, क्या हुआ? The moment he was there, he created so much ruckus, as I told you, that he did not allow any of them to sleep peacefully. मतलब इससे पहले they were leading a very peaceful life. Tortoise, rabbits, squirrels, even the goat. But that very night, एक रात भी वो शांति से नहीं रहने दिया. So grandfather, who had to leave Dehradun next day to collect his pension in Saharanpur, decided to take him along. So anyway, now since the animals could not sleep peacefully that night, next day, grandfather had to leave to Saharanpur. Why? To collect his pension. Pension milta tha unhe. And since he was knowing, grandmother was not knowing about his presence, he cannot keep him in a closet. He cannot keep him in that cage. So grandfather decided to take Toto along with him. कि भाई कम से कम मेरे साथ रहेगा तो I will be able to look after him. Unfortunately, I could not accompany grandfather on that trip, but he told me about it afterwards. Unfortunately, that writer, he was maybe because of his school or any other, reason, he did not accompany. Generally, he was going with his grandfather, but that moment, वो साथ नहीं जा सका. Later on, grandfather narrated the entire story, which he's sharing with us. A big black canvas kit bag was provided for Toto. Now, how to take animal? There are rules. There are rules. If you want to travel with your pet, there are rules. You have to, or any other mode of public transport, if you are using, you need to inform them. That is a rule. Miss, in fact, you have to pay amount, a little bit amount also for that. But here, grandfather did the wrong thing. He decided to take him very secretly in a used big black canvas kit bag. That he decided. So what did he do? उन्होंने क्या किया कि छुपा के ले जाऊंगा, because he was knowing that if people will look at him in the train, they will be scared. सब डर जाएंगे, monkey है. So a big black canvas kit bag was provided for Toto. This, with some straw at the bottom, became his new abode. Abode here means his home. Okay, that became uska ghar ban gaya. When the bag was closed, there was no escape. Obviously, it was very, canvas is very tough material. It is not easy to tore it, like it has already torn the blazer of our writer narrator. So it's not very easy to tear it. It is very strong, made of strong material. Toto could not get his hands through the opening, and the canvas was too strong for him to bite his way through. As I told you, this is made of very strong material, and you cannot even bite it with your teeth. You cannot do it. So basically, it was difficult for Toto to get out of that bag, that canvas kit. and his efforts to get out only had the effect of making the bag roll about on the floor or occasionally jump into the air, an exhibition that attracted a curious crowd